The Battle of Quatre, fought on June 16th, 1815, between Marshal Ney of France against Duke of Wellington, William of Orange, and the Duke of Brunswick of the 7th Coalition, resulting in a tactical Anglo-Allied victory and a strategic French victory. This battle is a 2v2 core game mode of the Napoleon Total War mod NTW3. Wellington and his Anglo-Dutch and Prussian army is maneuvering down this road here, trying to form up with Blücher, fighting simultaneously the Battle of Ligny versus Napoleon. These Prussians are trying to delay Napoleon's march to Brussels, and our task here is to delay Wellington's troops. The points are both 9 and 9, so an 18-point battle. Points on the map designate their points value. So La Roche right here is worth 2, and Quatre Bras is worth 3. So whoever controls those two will win the battle. So my teammate went Kellerman, who is a cav corps. A lot of heavy cav. He has some dragoons, some cuirassiers, some carabiners. Very tough units. I think the best ones of the core of the 100-day campaign. So very elite cav. He has a ton of them. Looking very dapper. And myself playing Riley, or Reilly. Mostly infantry, but I have 1, 2, 3, 4 units of cav. They're very light cav. Very fast. C8s. I have 2 units of artillery, a battery here of 12-pounders, and another battery of 6-pounders. And most of my troops are deploying on the road. We decided to go on the right, kind of blitz down this road. Hopefully they didn't have any troops deployed here to stop us, and if they did, we would just push them out of the way with the sheer amount of troops that I have. And here we have started. I'm pushing all my troops forward. The artillery, I want them to be in place so they can start firing right away. I have my ally marching his force. He does actually have a unit of 4-pounder, which are very quick, H3s, horse artillery. So they did set up some 12-pounders, very, very nice positioning here on the left flank. Quite the force deployed on the ridge, and as you can see, unfortunately,
our men are running, sir.
Losing one of their guns, my 6-pounder is out. So before they could even set up and deploy, I've lost one of our artillery pieces on our team. So although they didn't push towards the hill, historically there were some Dutch Nassau skirmishers deployed here that slowed down the French columns. Perhaps if they would have pushed up their cav more, it would have slowed us down. Actually, it looks like they're reloading. It looks like they redeployed facing backwards, but I'm going to rush in here. These Dutch line infantry aren't going to be able to stop them. My Chasseurs do get countercharged by some Schwerin Hussar Ulanen, which are Lancer Cav. But getting that artillery out of the way was a big help. Here you can see some of the Dutch actually firing on their Prussian allies in the back. Oh, and some 95th rifles being deployed there. They also historically, I think, were deployed on the right towards the woods. So back at the spawn, my ally is keeping his heavy cav, which will be very vital. Nice and safe, tucked away. And my artillery, my 12-pounders, are firing. Here's a top-down view of how the battle is developing. You can see some Prussian cav. I've pushed through the infantry towards the wood line, just like we had planned, and we're gonna completely roll their left flank. I am telling my ally to push along this road, not to get trapped in the stream, which will slow down his troops. To try and push over here to the right on this hill. Unfortunately, my ally's 4th-pounder is stuck in this swamp area. They're doing some maneuvers. round shot going into my 6 Chasseurs, Lancers, but I'm gonna get the charge off. And we successfully rout the 6-pounders. These colonial line infantry from the Dutch have formed a square. They're getting some shots off in the rear of my Chasseurs. But that is 2 enemy artillery that we've been able to take out. The British have completely reformed and given up part of their ridgeline advantage as we have begun our outflanking maneuver from the wood line, and my ally is pushing his heavy cav around on the right flank. So I'm just trying to keep them pinned here on the ridgeline, and this line infantry just gets smoked, gets annihilated by my 3 battalions here. My battalions have begun their right flanking maneuver, trying to secure a crossing over to their right flank. The Prussians have their cavalry, their light cavalry, and their dragoons deployed here on the left. My ally is also moving over his cuirassiers, his dragoons, and his carabiners. I have also secured this building, which later on it'll be a bit buggy, you'll see, but it's actually very pivotal to the battle. And here we have a square by the West Prussian musketeers. My ally sending in his dragoons, and another engagement over here on the right.
Our men are running.
I'm trying to run over some infantry to give them some square support as a few of our allies are getting routed. These hussars are gonna get chewed up. Look at that, they did. Going up against cuirassiers, that's not a good decision. Unfortunately, my 12-pounders got stuck in the same swamp area that my ally's 6-pounder got stuck in, so unfortunately they're gonna be out of action. The whole battle, we've been without artillery. But so kind of the enemy, as we were able to take them out early on. There's my brave general staff without their riders marching across, and you can see the smoke in the background. We can't even see the enemy units. And some of my units are flickering back and forth, that's weird. My ally made for a great charge on the Prussian left flank. A lot of these Prussian units can't form square. They trying to give inspiring orders to these cuirassiers. We have a cav charge here in the swamp, the 95th Rifles. They're gonna get mowed down. Here we have Ney trying to rally some cuirassiers, and he almost gets picked off by these Pomeranian land bear
This building has fallen to the enemy.
Some of his staff make a valiant sacrifice to try and save him. I noticed this and I'm trying to run up some cav and form square, but it does get to the protection of the lines. And they get pushed back. 39 minutes left. We've completely pushed around to the right. My whole army is repositioning. The British have moved some of their units over. This is going to be a very stubborn building to take through the courtyard. The way the pathfinding is, I have to go all the way around the house. I've some of my lines constantly screening some of the new lines coming in to form up. And while they're doing that, the lefternmost units are being screened by the front ranks here. And ideally, we don't want to get prolonged confrontations with these huge lines because they're just going to outshoot us. We just wanted the positioning over here and the buildings to be taken before we do any actions. They sent a lot of units over here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 units to take this one building with this one unit in here. I do have a general in it, and they do have very good stats. I think it's like 28 defense and 18 attack. But you can see how they stream in. They're already at half morale as they're pushing in. These units are very important. They should have pushed around here and taken our left flank because I've just completely shifted around spawns with them. And now it's the Prussians going one-on-one with my units and the remaining cav of my ally. He only spawned with about 9 cav units, so but they're very good units. I mean, that's an entire army over here, and just to take this one building that's not even worth any points, it wasn't very. It's not very good. Here's another cav charge on the right, the 3rd Cuirassiers, grabbing up these Silesian Lambert. Completely routing with Ney in the background. And again, we've caught them out positioned because now we can secure the Quatre building and we can move on to the La Rochelle. And the first Cuirassiers are going in with the Silesian Hussars. Again, Hussars versus Cuirassiers. Cuirassiers are gonna whip them. I mean, they're active versus these guys who are fresh, but still they're Hussars. So they get completely routed. And taking a look of where the Prussian positioning is, they're getting stuck in the mud here. This color is kind of like a stream, which slows their movement down. But they're also getting charged on the flank with units who can't form square. With volley fire on the right flank, they're just getting routed back and forth. And the British finally pushing across and forming on our left flank. The building, we've only lost about a third of our troops, but we've routed a couple battalions, and you can see by the dead out front of the courtyard that they've taken a lot of losses just trying to walk into the building. Have the British deployed on the left and the remnants of the Prussians deployed on the right. Additionally, I have my ally with his remaining cav deployed on the right, who are just going to cycle charge and hammer and anvil these remaining Prussians who can't form square, and I'm just going to be aggressive with my lines and just roll up the entire flank. See the morale start to waver on the British lines as they've lost their general as well as the Prussian general. And one by one these leftern flank battalions are starting to rout. Overall, artillery wasn't a major factor compared to the heavy cav of my ally and the large stacks of infantry. actually quite a few units that he put in this building that are taking some pot shots at Ney's remaining staff. Ideally, the enemy had quite the position advantage here on this ridge, with tree lines flanking both of their flanks. When we pushed down the road, they should have come and retreated if they were pushed back, placing troops in the building to the left to slow us down, and retreating back to this secondary ridge. Historically, that's what Wellington did when another division came down the French road here. Really enjoyable time, and we're just charging down the last remaining units in this building. And there we have it.